Hello and welcome to the football world. You're watching the Football Current, powered by pure football energy. Football doesn't usually announce when a power shift is happening. There's no press release, no warning. One moment, a rivalry feels eternal, balanced on history and tradition. And then suddenly, something changes. The noise gets louder on one side. The confidence shifts. The fear creeps in. And right now, one truth is becoming impossible to ignore. Real Madrid don't just have a problem. They have a FC Barcelona problem. Because under Hansi Flick, Barcelona are not simply winning games. They are overwhelming opponents. They are dictating narratives. They are rewriting the balance of power in Spanish football. 9 consecutive victories, 26 goals scored, just 6 conceded. And perhaps most terrifying of all, this team is peaking at the exact moment their greatest rivals are searching for answers. This is not form. This is momentum. This is dominance. And this is why the Clásico no longer feels like a question. It feels like a warning. To understand how Barcelona reached this point, you have to go back to the start of the season, when nothing felt stable. Injuries ravaged the squad. Key players dropped one by one. Rhythm was impossible to find. Confidence flickered. There were doubts everywhere about the squad, about the direction, about whether this project could truly deliver at the highest level. When Hansi Flick arrived, he inherited a club still searching for identity after years of transition. The expectations were enormous, but the foundations were fragile. And yet, quietly, methodically, Flick began to build something ruthless. Not around one superstar, not around nostalgia, but around collective superiority. Look at the names now defining this Barcelona side. Joan Garcia, Pau Cubarsí, Gerard Martín, Eric Garcia, Pedri, Fermín López, Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, Robert Lewandowski, and Rooney Bargi. This is not just talent, this is structure. These players don't simply perform. They improve every week. And when Barcelona see white shirts across the tunnel, something changes. Their intensity sharpens. Their focus narrows. Against Real Madrid, this team doesn't just play better. They play their best football. And that is the nightmare scenario for any rival. Because this isn't a coincidence anymore. Since Hansi Flick arrived at Barcelona, he has beaten Real Madrid 4 times and lost just once. His teams have scored 17 goals against them and conceded 9. The 2024 to 2025 season will be remembered as a campaign of outright domination. For Clásicos, for Barcelona victories.
No debate. No excuses.
The Spanish Super Cup final ended 5-2. The Copa del Rey final finished 3-2. La Liga saw a ruthless 4-0 demolition at the Santiago Bernabéu, followed by a dramatic 4-3 triumph at the Estadio Olímpic Luis Companys. 16 Barcelona goals. 7 for Madrid. This wasn't rivalry. This was control. The first blow landed on October 26, 2024. In the Bernabéu, Robert Lewandowski scored twice in 2 minutes, silencing the stadium. Lamine Yamal announced himself on the biggest stage, fearless and electric. And Raphinha finished the night with a cheeky chip that felt symbolic. Confidence, arrogance, and superiority rolled into one moment. The second blow came in January in Jeddah during the Spanish Super Cup final. An early goal from Kylian Mbappé briefly sparked hope, but Barcelona responded with authority. Goals from Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Raphinha, and Alejandro Balde completed a comeback that ended with Barcelona lifting the trophy right in front of Madrid's eyes. In April, the story repeated itself in Seville.
De Copa del Rey final.
Extra time. Pressure at its peak. Pedri delivered brilliance. Ferran Torres finished with ruthless calm. And Jules Kounde sealed it with a long-range strike that felt like destiny. Barcelona's second trophy of the season, earned directly against their greatest rival. But the most symbolic victory arrived on May 11th. 2 goals down after 15 minutes. Chaos, doubt, and then response. Eric Garcia ignited belief. Lamine Yamal produced a moment of magic. And Raphinha delivered 2 decisive blows that buried Madrid's resistance. That win didn't just secure 3 points, practically sealed the La Liga title. Barcelona didn't just win trophies, they won them head-to-head. And here's the cruel irony for Madrid supporters. That one victory Madrid managed at the Bernabéu earlier in the season might have been the worst possible outcome for them, and the best thing that ever happened to Barcelona. From that moment, everything changed. In the 14 matches that followed, Barcelona lost just once, against Chelsea. They drew with Club Brugge in the Champions League. And in La Liga, they simply refused to drop points. The result? Barcelona back on top, holding a 4-point lead over Real Madrid. What Flick has built is pure cinema, a relentless attacking machine. Since his arrival, Barcelona have scored 5 or more goals in 15 different matches. In total, they found the net 248 times in just 87 games. Almost 3 goals per match. This is high-voltage football.
Pace.
Pressure. Fearless movement. Goals coming from everywhere. Across all competitions this season, Barcelona have scored 74 goals, averaging 3 per game. In La Liga alone, they've already reached 53 goals in just 19 match days. More than at the same stage last season. But numbers alone don't tell the full story, because there are 2 crucial differences between this Barcelona and the team of last year. The first is simple. Everyone scores. This is not a system dependent on one star. It's distributed danger. Depth that overwhelms opponents. The arrivals of Marcus Rashford and Rooney Bargi added new attacking routes, new patterns, new chaos. The second difference is even more important. Balance. This Barcelona doesn't just score. Controls. They've conceded 0 goals in their last 5 games. That vulnerability from last season is gone. In La Liga, the statistics are staggering. Barcelona have scored in 39 consecutive matches. They've produced one of the best first halves of a season in the last decade, surpassed only by Ernesto Valverde's 2017-18 side and Xavi Hernandez's 2022-23 team. They've collected 11 more points than last season. 16 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats. Perfect at home. 9 wins from 9. No other team in Europe's top 5 leagues can say that. Hansi Flick averages 2.57 points per game, higher than Luis Enrique at the same stage. And he's done this while battling relentless injuries. Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, Fermin Lopez, Raphinha, Dani Olmo, Robert Lewandowski, Christensen, Joan Garcia, Bald, Frankie de Jong, Pedri, all sidelined at different moments. Ronald Araujo suffered an emotional dip. Gavi remains unavailable. Still, Barcelona dominate. After a heavy defeat to Chelsea, Flick promised improvement. What followed was frightening. 9 matches, 9 wins, 26 goals, 37 big chances created. 5-goal demolitions of Athletic Bilbao and Real Betis. A 3-1 win over Atletico Madrid. Top of the league. Super Cup final reached. And the most terrifying part? This team isn't carried by individuals. It's driven by collective force. 9 players already have more than 5-goal contributions. Lamine Yamal with 20.
Fermin Lopez 16.
Ferran Torres 15. Marcus Rashford 15. Raphinha 13. Lewandowski 10. Pedri 8. Dani Olmo 7. Rooney Bargi 6. This isn't a great team. It's a machine. Now, context matters. The Spanish Super Cup has historically favored Real Madrid. From 1988 to 2022, Madrid won 6 of 7 finals against Barcelona. But the tide is turning. Barcelona have now won 2 of the last 3. In 2022, under Xavi Hernandez, Barcelona beat Madrid 3-1 in Riyadh. In 2023, Madrid responded with a 4-1 victory driven by Vinicius Jr. Then came 2024.
Barcelona entre 5-2.
A demolition under Hansi Flick. And today, the gap looks even wider. Joan Garcia symbolizes that shift. A 75% save rate, higher than Thibaut Courtois. 6 crucial saves against Espanyol. Calm, authority, confidence. In defense, Gerard Martin leads La Liga in tackles and interceptions while committing fewer than 1 foul per game. He wins 84% of his aerial duels. Next to him, Eric Garcia is redefining versatility, elite in build-up, progression, defending, and chance creation. Whether at center-back, full-back, or defensive midfield, his influence is everywhere. In midfield, everything revolves around Pedri. Under Flick, he's evolved into Europe's most relentless ball winner. In 2025, no midfielder has recovered possession more often across the top 5 leagues. 346 recoveries. More than Vitinha, João Neves, or Jude Bellingham. Supported by Frankie de Jong or Eric Garcia, Barcelona suffocate opponents. And then there's the attack. Kylian Mbappé has 29 goals. But after him, what comes next? Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham sit on 5 each.
Barcelona.
They come in waves. Raphinha, in particular, has reached Ballon d'Or levels under Flick, 69 goal contributions in 73 matches. He sets the tone. He triggers the press. Lewandowski remains lethal. Even Bargi, with limited minutes, delivers. This is planning, vision, execution. Barcelona paid €2.5 million for Rooney Bargi. Madrid spent €85 million on Endrick and €53 million on Franco Mastantuono. One is decisive. The others watch from the bench. So now the question isn't whether Barcelona are the best team in Spain. It's whether anyone is ready to stop them. Because this isn't a cycle. It's a statement. A reminder that dominance doesn't last forever, unless it's rebuilt correctly. And as the next Clásico approaches, one question remains. Is this the beginning of a new era of Barcelona supremacy? Or the moment Real Madrid finally fight back?